Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Motorsports. I am your host, The Big Ticket. Jesus, I forgot my intro. Damn. Right. I am The Big Ticket, here to talk to you about all things motorsports and motorsports related. There are two versions of the show. You can check out the audio version on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you choose to listen. I'm available on all platforms. Or if you want to check out the video version, you can head on over to youtube.com/Tarig Waldron. That's TARIGWALDRON. There will be links in the description. Or you can simply search Let's Talk Motorsports in the YouTube search bar. Be sure to rate this show 5 stars. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at the Big Ticket 07. I also post updates on the show, motorsports in general, and also when I'm looking for show notes or anything of that nature, I go to Twitter at the Big Ticket 07. Links, of course, will be in the description. So moving on to the show, starting off with NASCAR. Sunday was the cutoff race at the Charlotte Roval. All right, Kyle Busch is out. The Toyota driver Kyle Busch, he is the reigning champion from last year. He's out of the playoff running after a winless season. So bye Kyle. Now the playoff grid is set. Now moving into that is going to be Kevin Harvick with Ford. He has 9 wins. Denny Hamlin, if you don't know who that is, check back into my episode about Michael Jordan and NASCAR. Denny Hamlin should be a name that you recognize. He's with Toyota. He has 7 wins. He's number 2 on the grid. Brad Keselowski, however you say his fucking name. I'm not his father. I'm not his parent. He's driving with Ford. He has 4 wins under his belt for the season. Chase Elliott driving with Chevy. He has 3 wins. Joey Logano with Ford, 2 wins. Martin, I'm gonna say Trout Jr. I don't be on top of these people's last names, man. He's with Toyota with 1 win. Alex Bowman with Chevy, 1 win, and then Kurt Busch with Chevy, 1 win. Kurt and Kyle, family. If y'all didn't get that from the... Anyway, now my predictions for the next round. Obviously, I see Denny Hamlin pulling away with more than just a second place. He did come away with a second place championship. I think the last time he did that was in 2010. He has been able to stay in pretty high ranking and pretty high standings, but I expect him to go further in this one. I'm just talking about the next round, not the overall season, but I do expect him to actually pull off and be able to finish off the entirety of the season. So expect him to do well in the next round. Stepping into more of the corporate side of the NASCAR industry, the president at Toyota Racing Development is setting a high standard for the Toyota teams, or the teams that are manufactured, or like, how you phrase that? The teams that are the teams that are supplied. There you go. The teams that are supplied by Toyota. David Wilson is not happy with the performance of these teams. Okay, after getting 8 wins this season, he states it is, what do you say, unacceptable. Okay, that's quote unquote unacceptable. Okay, and they should have way more wins. Now, Denny Hamlin has 7 wins on this season already, and I think they just had another win recently. Well, no, Denny Hamlin had the recent win. But they have 8 wins for the entirety of the season. Denny Hamlin has 7. Okay, the other guy is Martin Truex, whatever, Jr. Martin Jr. All right, that's just gonna be his name. He has the other win with Toyota. So, they're second in the win status. You know what I'm saying? Ford has 17 wins and Toyota only has 8, but Toyota is in second place for the number of wins. Ford has been completely dominating not just Toyota, but every other manufacturer within the NASCAR series. So it's only right, or I don't see what the big major deal is. Obviously, everyone wants their team to be in number 1. Everyone wants to have that number 1 win, and everyone wants to be a champion. But Ford is kicking your ass. Step your game up. But for the most part, you're doing pretty fucking well. I don't see why he had to go and say that the shit was quote unquote unacceptable. I feel as though it is a decent way to go. Y'all second place win. Obviously, first is the goal, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter. But David Wilson believes that Toyota should win the next 5 races. Yeah, okay. Whatever. If you think that's gonna happen, sure. I doubt it. Like I said, Denny Hamlin, I definitely hope that he ends up, moving forward and actually doing great things with that. But in terms of actually winning the next 5 races, bro, that's not happening. Ford ain't letting that happen. Harvick is not letting that happen. Shit. Another name to look out for. Joey Logano is not letting that happen. And Chase Elliott came away with a surprise win on Sunday. So shit, he's gunning for first too. He's not gonna let that shit happen. But Denny Hamlin is definitely a factor that is gonna be basically what Toyota's gonna have to rely on for the rest of the season that they have going forth. Stepping away from NASCAR, moving to Formula One. The great. Yes, I said the great. He's the GOAT of Formula One right now. You know what I'm saying? Hamilton finally matches Michael Schumacher's 91 all-time win record. And the season's not even over yet, so expect more to come. And his career ain't done yet. He got a lot more shit to do. He got a lot more racing to get done. So expect that number to go up, boy. Expect that number to go up. With the Eiffel. What GP is this? I think it's the Eiffel GP. I'm gonna just give you the quick overview. Max Verstappen, Hamilton in first, Verstappen in second, Ricciardo in third. But let's talk about the actual race, shall we? Battle by the 2 Mercedes in the first few turns, fucking amazing. But Bottas cuts out Hamilton a little bit and was able to take the lead. Now Bottas led for about, I think, 12 or so laps, okay, and then he ended up having some lockup issue. He had something going on, but let me just talk about that shit. Had a lead, was basically pulling away from everyone, but Hamilton and Verstappen were able to kind of close that down as the laps went by. Then, of course, by either lap 12 or lap 13, Bottas had that seeming incident, I guess, where he locked up and from there had to pit to get his tires changed. And Hamilton quickly took advantage of that shit. Kept on going, and then there was a crash. I forgot the name of the driver, but there was a crash, and a virtual safety car was brought out. Now, that safety car allowed for Hamilton and Verstappen to take even more advantage of the fact that now the race had to be, I don't want to say stopped, but the race had to be halted for a little bit. And, of course, these guys were able to take on an extra lap or so during that time. Now, the whole him pitting and everything went very south for him as other cars were able to take advantage of the virtual safety car and all that stuff coming out shortly after his pit. And later on in the race, there were plenty of accidents, but later on in the race, Bottas actually suffered a power loss problem. I'm not sure exactly the full technical details. Obviously, I'm not an engineer or nothing like that, but he suffered a power loss unit problem, and after failed attempts to try and fix and jumpstart everything back up and change up settings and stuff like that, he had to retire the car. Hamilton, I don't want to say was gifted the victory because of the fact that Bottas was out, because it would have been very heated competition, but he was basically given a free ride to that championship. So I mean, I don't want to say thank you, Bottas, but thank you. You know what I'm saying? And as praise, Hamilton has been getting plenty of praise on Twitter, Instagram, all social media platforms, whatever. He's been getting praised by, the media as a whole. And the Schumacher family, especially, they gave him a Schumacher helmet. And also on their Twitter, they gave him plenty of praise. I think they did a short little tribute or something. I'm not 100% sure, but he definitely got the helmet, and he's definitely getting a ton of praise. Well deserved. I don't care if it was seemingly gifted. And another amazing thing that happened, Ricciardo was able to get Renault their first podium in, I want to say, over in about 10 years. I think the last time they had it was either 2010 or 2012 or whatever the fuck it was. But in a good bit of years, they haven't touched podium. and Ricardo was finally able to bring that into fruition for them, which is a great factor. That's just more props to Ricardo. Obviously, I feel as though if Bottas was able to stay in, that probably would not have happened. So once again, thank you, Bottas. That just seems to be like, everyone seems to be succeeding once that other level of competitiveness is taken out. There's Hamilton, there's Verstappen, but Ricardo was able to actually topple the charts, I guess, and topple the main stage, and actually end up on the podium with a third, which was a great celebration. I think on the drive back, he was like, "Is that a fucking podium? Is that a fucking podium?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's a fucking podium." Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? They was all excited and stuff like that over the communication stuff. So that was fun to see. Definitely put a smile on my face. And I'm sure that whole crew was so fucking excited and smiling and happy. It was great to see. And I want to say Verstappen had, I don't want to say, this is facts. Verstappen had his fastest lap on lap 60 when pressure was applied from whoever the fuck was behind him, which was, I guess, Ricardo. And I guess other drivers too. But lap 60, he came away with like a 128.1 or some shit like that. I'm not 100% sure on the number. But he had the fastest lap of the entire race on lap 60. I guess he was just pushing to get it over with. But I also feel as though he was pushing because there was some pressure behind him. I think Ricardo got his fastest lap on like lap 56 or lap 58 or some shit like that. That's about it. But props to Hamilton. Fucking amazing, and way more wins to come, I'm certain. So he's gonna be raising that 91 all-time win number all the way up to shit. I don't know, man. I'm hoping for like a 120, 130 type of thing. You know what I'm saying? He's still pretty young, so I expect good things from him. The French GP at the Bugatti circuit. I'm gonna just talk about the race as it happened. Okay, now race conditions poor, wet track from rain. And guys had to switch up tires and yada, yada, yada. That's just track conditions. Okay. And now, green light, everybody out the gate looking good. Couple turns later, the greatest Valentino Rossi slid out of the race literally as soon as it started, bro. I mean, like, the man went maybe a couple feet. I'm exaggerating on the couple feet thing. He went into what I think turn 2 or turn 3, and then slid out from that, I believe, chicane. I'm not 100% sure, but he slid out. I'm not sure if it was a mistake or if it was just because of the conditions of the track. I'm not 100% sure, but he was out of the race from there. With him sliding out like that, Vinales and Johan Mir and Maverick Vinales were forced to avoid him and then all the chaos, and they had to hold back, which in turn ended up dropping them from contention. So they were in like 13th, 14th, or some shit like that. They were far back there. They were out of points contention altogether. Hold on, let me just take a little sip of this tea. Feeling a little under the weather. But with that, the factory Ducatis, Dovizioso, Petrucci, they were able to just pull up and take the leads. Jack Miller was in first, Petrucci came up in second, and Dovizioso was in third. Quartararo, the last GP's champion, after coming back for a while, the points leader, I'm pretty sure. He was fourth, but this was his first wet race. So obviously with experience comes skill, and he has no experience on a wet track. So he slowly ended up getting pressure easily and was overtaken and was basically in my opinion, out of contention as well. Finished off with, what did he finish? I think he finished off with a 9th. Yeah, he finished off with a 9th at his home freaking track, I guess. I don't. That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna put it as. But at home, basically, in his own backyard, he ended up coming away with 9th, which I'm sure he is not acceptable of. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be if I lost. If I fucking came in 9th on my track, like I wouldn't. That wouldn't be the way I was feeling. I wouldn't be excited about that. But he now has some wet race experience under his belt, so hopefully that ends up improving him for the next time that he ends up having to go through a wet race, and he's actually able to perform, and actually be in contention for victory. Now the 3-pack in the front, they were pulling away easily, well not easily, but they were pulling away. Suzuki, their race pace immaculate. Okay, Alex Rins worked his way from 16th to 4th. Okay. Coming all the way up and through, getting ready to get on top of these Ducatis, and the Ducatis were battling within each other, and Rins was able to just make his way through all that shit and take second, and sure enough, Miller crashes out, and that the first place leader crashes out. So who does that put in first? Rins. Now a lap later, Rins crashed out as well, which was truly which was truly like blindsided in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because I expected Suzuki to always be on podium damn near every race. Obviously, with the way that this shit has been going, there's like 8 totally different winners every single fucking time. Not every single time. There's like 8 different winners that have occurred this season. Obviously, there's people who have continually won, but there's like 8 different champions for the MotoGP this year. It's crazy. Like, it's basically saying that everyone has an opportunity to win if you play your cards right. With these different conditions and sometimes just strings of bad luck. I'm looking at you, Rossi. And everyone has a chance, basically. And I mean, I'm not 100% sure how the system is going, or I haven't checked into the points or nothing like that, so I'm not 1,000% sure as to how that shit is gonna go. But everyone is most definitely has a chance to get a victory, has a chance to get a W. Alex Marquez with LCR Honda, not Mark, Alex, was gaining on the top pack. Like I said, with Rins crashing out, Miller crashing out, it was now Petrucci who made his way to first place. Dovizioso was in second, but late race, Dovizioso is now suffering from rear grip tendinitis, basically. Which just means that grip starts becoming a factor, and he has to ease off, or else he's probably going to end up spilling or be on the bad end of a high side, low side, whatever the case may be. But he has to ease off slightly. But Alex Marquez took that as an advantage, just fucking gained on him, no problem. Marquez went from 18th to second place, so that's also an incredible feat for him in his debut MotoGP actual race, and he pulls away with the number 2 spot on podium. That's fucking incredible. These Marquez boys, man, they crazy. Paul Espargaro ends up coming up late in the race, and ends up pitting Dovizioso, ends up putting him on, I don't want to say on his ass because he didn't like crash or nothing like that, but passed him late in the race, and was able to take third. Dovizioso finishes off with fourth. Quartararo, like I said, finished off 9th at the home track. Ooh, buddy, that's not good. And like I said, Rossi has been having a string of bad luck, you know what I'm saying, in the last 3 races he's crashed out. So, I mean, I think he did the same thing last year again. At 3 tracks. I don't fully remember every track name or whatever, but he had the same type of incident where he has a stint of bad luck, but he ends up pulling back and he ends up coming back for, greatness, because he's the GOAT when it comes to this MotoGP shit. Now, if it were dry conditions, if I'm being honest with you, because, Alex Marquez, I had read the article on him. He said that, what's this shit? A wet race win isn't, it's good, obviously, but it's not a part of the plan because it's usually not wet. But it takes away from that competitive edge. The guys who were who had the best odds for contention are now at the back of the pack taking it easy because they'd rather just finish or not taking it easy, but they have to reduce their efforts slightly to adapt to the actual wet race, the wet environment. So guys are not going at their max potential. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, it's a good thing to get. It's a good thing to get. What do you get? Second place. It's a good thing to get second place, but it's not a good thing to not have that competitive contention in there, because now you have a false sense of I don't want to. Fuck it. Now you have a false sense of drive, basically. You have a false sense of competitive nature when you didn't see what these guys were fully capable of. Obviously, Alex is coming from, I think, Moto 3 or Moto 2, one of the other motos. I'm not 100% sure. So he knows a ton about, the competitiveness and all that stuff. But for the MotoGP class, this is his first. So he has a good ways to go. Obviously, there's a reason why he started off in 18th, and because, they have the qualifying and all that stuff. I think it did rain for one of the qualifyings, but for the most part, it was dry. So, guys were able to showcase, or guys were able to do what they needed to do in qualifying, and you can see that he was in 18th. So there's definitely a big competitive edge that was gone because of the wet conditions. And I feel as though if it was dry, it would be, like I said, how it was last week with Yamaha, Suzuki. Honestly, going in for the race, or maybe Yamaha, Suzuki, KTM. I don't know, something of that nature. That's just what I think it would have been like. But it wasn't like that. Obviously, it rained, and I mean, some of these guys don't have don't have the greatest wet race experience. I'm looking at you, Quartararo. Don't mean to point any fingers or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how it go. Boom. Going to Spa. The Belgian Raceway Spa is renovating like a mug. Already looking ahead, Spa has shown its project to be done for 2022. I'm not sure. It's supposed to be a 10-year thing, so I'm not sure if they started in 2012 or if they just started it I'll say last year, 2018 or some shit like that, and are now completing certain sections of it, because it's like a 10-year thing. It's like a 10-year project that they had funded and all that stuff. So renovations were needed to obtain the license necessary for MotoGP racing to come back to the track. And they were doing, they added a bunch of stuff. They changed up and added longer runoff areas in certain corners. They added gravel traps, and they expanded traps as well. All that does is allow for a greater chance for the bikers to slow down, and for I guess less high speed actual crashes and stuff against walls and all that stuff of that nature. The runoff areas used to be straight up asphalt and tarmac, but they changed that stuff up to gravel, and that allows for a higher rate of friction, which allows for cars to slow down more if they run off track. Now, obviously, this is going to affect more than just MotoGP, because this track is going to be set for the endurance championship. Is going to be set for Formula One. Basically any racing event that occurs at Spa is going to be subject to these changes. And I feel as though it's not only safer for riders and drivers alike, it's safer for the fans and safer for marshals, all that stuff that's going to be, or stewards, whatever the fuck they're called in that shit. In that time frame, in that spectacle, in that space. There you go, in that space. Now, the one thing I have a problem with is that they plan on adding new grandstands and VIP boxes, which adds about 13,000 new seats. Although, like I said, this is over a 10-year span. I'm not 100% sure when it started, but they're saying some of this shit is supposed to be done by 2022. My thing is, I don't know how long this COVID stuff gonna last, and I don't know if you even gonna be able to add in all them fucking fans. So, don't know how you really gonna make that prosper. But obviously, they got new VIP boxes too, so they're planning ahead for, I guess, when this stuff is over. Motorsports is gonna be here for a long time, so they're investing for a long time, not a short time. Now this shit cost a ton of money. 80 million euros, funded not only by the track itself, but funded by a loan from I want to say a bank, but I'm not 100% sure what the loan was from. And funded by the Motorsports Industry Bank or some shit like that. Not the no the government bank. Like a government bank or something like that for the area or whatever. It was also funded by them. Obviously, that track probably when it has fans and advertisements and all that stuff running, it has plenty of money coming in. So 80 million euros, I feel like they're gonna make that up within a decent amount of time. But this COVID stuff is gonna throw a fucking what's that phrase? It's gonna throw a wrench in the plans. I don't know if they're gonna be able to come back and prosper. I don't want to say profit. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna be able to profit off of that. So Spa, let's see what happens in the next coming years. Moving on to sticking with kind of like endurance basically, because Spa is getting their endurance stuff, is getting an endurance event happening there soon. Well, not soon, but it's coming. It's coming. Talking about the other Westbrook. Okay, not Westbrook like basketball OKC turned Rocket Westbrook. No. Talking about the other Westbrook, okay? Richard Westbrook from the World Endurance Championship. He is once again called upon by Aston Martin to step foot into the GT realm. And I say he's called upon again simply because of the fact that he has good history with the team. Okay. And there's some vacancies. Now, I think, I forgot their names. I think somebody named something Turner and something else. But there are two guys who are basically vacant for the next event coming up. And in Bahrain, I think that's the last race of the season for WEC. So that allows, basically they need someone to fill the spot. And I guess their option to go to, or their go-to option, was Richard Westbrook. And because in the 24-hour Le Mans he was called upon then and had a third place win at 24 hours, and the other Aston Martin car for that race actually finished first. So first and third win, what I'm saying? That's pretty fucking incredible. And also I can't talk. Westbrook won his first GT race. Or won his first race in a GT car at Bahrain. Obviously, I mean, it was in 2005. Westbrook is he's like 40 something years old, 44, 40 something, 47. He up there. Well, no, that's not up there. I'm fucked up. He's like 45. I think, yeah, we'll just go in the middle. 45. He's 45. And he obviously has, the talent and the knowledge, and the team is rolling with him 100%. I think he has a pretty good relationship with the fucking team. So they're just expecting good things to happen. And I mean, it's an honor to fucking race with Aston Martin. Who would turn that down? I mean, I guess the other drivers, if they get offered more money or whatnot, or whatnot, because I mean, there's a reason why they're vacant. Why those spots are vacant. So, but I wouldn't turn that shit down. Richard Westbrook, keep doing your thing, man. And looking for good fortune for you coming in the whatever that shit is called. Bahrain. There you go. Hold on. Like, it's hot, but it's also cool at the same time. Stepping into the WRC, I just want to take a moment. Okay. Excuse me, I just want to take a moment. Rest in peace to Laura Silva, 21-year-old. She passed away. She's a rally co-driver, and she passed away at the Portuguese rally. One of the rounds at the Portuguese rally. My condolences to the family, to the friends, to the team, to all her loved ones and people that loved her. That's just a sad thing to see, a young soul gone. And my condolences to everyone. I've never, honestly, in my life, seen a car tore up like that from hitting a tree. Well, I guess, but just a sad thing, just a sad moment. Definitely, probably a moment that won't be forgotten by a family, team. Probably won't be a moment forgotten by her team. And just a sad moment. R.I.P. Laura Silva. Moving on to Rally, Italy. Hyundai has been fined 30,000 euros. Reason why? Their rear subframe on, what's his name? Danny Sorbo. Yeah, rear subframe on the winner, Danny Sorbo's car was underweight. Now, I'm not really sure what the weight difference was, but I think when I did the calculations earlier, that shit was like a pound or less. I don't know how the fuck they was calculating that. I guess in grams it might be different, or either that or I didn't fucking see that in grams. Because G is grams, right? Because this is European stuff, so G is grams. So it didn't say kilograms, it didn't say none of that shit. It just said grams. So that makes, like, when I converted that shit, it came out to like half a pound, or like just over a half a pound, or something like 60, like 0.60 of a pound or whatever, for the people that don't, for the American side of everything, you know. So how the hell did they catch that is my question. They have like the homologated weight and all that stuff, so I guess that might work because cars need to be weighed and shit like that. I think without and with the driver inside, and that will tell you everything about the weight of the car. If it changes and stuff like that, they'll know. So I don't think it did. I don't think they violated the homologated weight thing, but they might have violated one of the weight classes things, or one of the weight classifications, or some shit like that, something like that. They were fined 30,000, and now they're under investigation to see if they may have did it any other time, which I doubt they did, and it was just chalked up as a clerical error that they just missed or didn't check. And I think there might be a suspension not underway, but pending whatever comes out of the investigation coming up. But he still gets the win. Danny Sorbo still gets the win, so congrats to him. But I don't know how the fuck they caught that shit. But, you know, it's this is the professional WRC. This ain't no amateur shit that, you know what I'm saying? They on top of it. They got all the systems that they need to check this stuff. Moving to Moto America, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Oh my God, I'm so mad I missed this race. I wanted to actually go to the event, but I chose not to. Because I honestly don't know why. I didn't have much to do that day. I did a couple things, but I truly wish I went to the event. That would have been great footage. The next one is in fucking Monterey, so I can't make that one. But I guess next season. There's always next season if I'm still alive. Have mercy on me. Anyway, I just want to talk about I'll talk about the actual race and stuff like that probably next week, along with whatever events are coming out next week. But I just want to talk about how inclusive they are to every form of motor racing, basically. You know what I'm saying? They got the baggers. The Battle of the Baggers is coming up, I believe, if it didn't already happen. But I think it's coming up, okay? So if you don't know what a bagger is a motorcycle with like basically a full touring chassis. How that's set up is basically these are bikes that are built to go long distances comfortably, okay, or in relative comfort for motorcycles. Okay, obviously a car is going to be way more comfortable than a motorcycle, but it's relative, like it's the top of the line comfort for motorcycles. That's what a touring chassis basically is. Now, these guys plan on racing these. Now, these bikes are usually big, burly, you know what I'm saying? And they normally have what it's called saddlebags on the back of them, okay? Saddlebags are usually could be hard case, leather, some different type of material, some waterproof material, whatever. But they normally go on the back end of the bike on the sides, okay? And these guys they race those shits. Okay, I think by Drag Week or something like that. Whatever organization is actually kind of like basically hosting it or sponsoring it. But it's like these guys are racing baggers. I've never seen that shit. Like not like drag racing baggers. I'm talking about racing them around and on track. Like turns and all that shit, baggers, and quite impressive. That's something that Moto America includes. I've never seen that shit in a European stage. Obviously, I'm pretty sure baggers are way more common in the U.S., but that's besides the point. Next is the Heritage. Okay, they just had the Heritage Cup yesterday. God damn it. I missed so much shit. They had the Heritage Cup, not yesterday, on Saturday. Yeah, they had the Heritage Cup on Saturday, okay, which, I mean, it's not going to be the most exciting race. Obviously, these are bikes from like 1970-something, 1980-something, and, you know, they're not going to be at the same power or the same handling or the same aggressiveness as the bikes that we have now that these guys are racing. So it's expected to not be as entertaining, but if you care, I guess, about the Heritage, or if you want to see a little bit of piece of history rolling down the track and actually doing some things that's quite fucking, you know, some shit. Obviously, these bikes were probably pushed at that time. They were the top of the line during those times, so expect it. Now might be a little different, but to see them actually take the track and go around like that and everything, I mean, perfectly expected. I watched the shit on YouTube. Not on YouTube. I watched I think the practice on Facebook Live. Actually, I think free practice 2 or some shit. I had watched that on Facebook Live, and I was sitting there fucking engulfed by the shit. You know what I'm saying? They include baggers and heritage bikes. Never seen that shit in the European stage. Obviously, you could go back and look. They have those races, but I haven't seen those types of sub events inside of the MotoGP or Moto3, Moto2, none of that stuff. Obviously, that's a different level of competition altogether, so I guess that's understandable, but I still kind of want to see like some type of heritage shit going on. You know, the history of motor racing is just as impressive as motor racing is today. Then, you know, they also have different things for the youth, man. They got the Juniors Cup. Okay, not only, I'm not talking about like, yes, there's teens, but like, and youth in general, like they have the stuff for the teens, basically, people like 16 years old, 17 years old, 15 years old, whatever, in that range, basically. Okay, that I think is the Juniors Cup. They have that shit. These kids are performing and they're doing great. Okay, I told you, like in a recent episode, or not a recent episode, but in one of my last episodes, you can check back. I said this shit for the episode, like, yo, that shit was low. That shit is actually exciting. Like, I just got interested in it recently, like literally during the time of that episode, because I've never really seen it like that. You know what I'm saying? I never seen like no junior racing. Like, I seen it in drag racing for cars and motorcycles, but I didn't see it in this realm. I didn't see it in the actual full track day style realm. Okay, and of course they got the stuff with the mini bikes. They got stuff with dirt bikes too. I forgot what type of racing it's called, but basically, I don't want to say basically they're on a dirt bike, but they're on a dirt bike and they drifting them bitches. That's all I can really tell you. That shit is fun. It looks fun, incredible. There's like, if I want to say someone who has plenty of content about that, check out Brandon Posh on Instagram. I talked about him in a recent episode as well, but he has plenty of videos and stuff that shows him actually performing on the style of stuff that I'm talking about. And there's the mini bike stuff with not only full grown people on them shits, but it's also little ass kids. Like, I'm talking like probably like 7 to 10 years old on them fucking mini bikes, and they ain't moving them shits. Like, they was really like, it's quite exciting, and it's a different thing, you know, from what you're normally used to. You're able to see the impact of motorsports on not only adults, but youngins too. And I'm all for it, man. I wish I seen that shit when I was younger. I would have tried so hard to get into that stuff when I was younger, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see that. Most of the time, what you see when you're someone like me, you see football, basketball. You see those kind of sports. You know what I'm saying? You see maybe baseball. Most of the time, that's usually put on the Spanish guys, and soccer. But you see those kind of sports. You see physical sports. You don't see nothing about motorsports. Okay? Obviously, I mean, in high school and stuff like that, there's probably not going to be anything for motorsports. You know, it's based off of what the high school is going to afford and fund. But outside of that, you don't see it a lot. I mean, like I said, I've been to plenty of drag races and stuff like that, so that's pretty much all I saw. Yeah, I saw kids doing it. I mean, I had to grow up a little bit before I was given the responsibility of being behind the wheel of anything. But You saw kids racing. Well, yeah, I say kids. You saw kids racing, man, and I was just in a straight line, and I didn't see none of this weaving and cornering and nothing like that until I got to 16, 17 years old. And I didn't even know that kids were basically being put on a main stage like this as well. You know, teenagers were being put on a main stage like this as well. So, new to me. Not new to everyone, but new to me. Okay. Now, also, I want to jump into, with this, I like this whole inclusion thing with the Race for Equality and Change initiative. Okay. Recently, Bud Denker was interviewed by Motorsports.com. There you go. Boom. And he's the president of the Penske Corporation. So he said programs like NXG are important for attracting youth to motorsports. Okay, now I feel as though programs like that is definitely going to be the next stage in the motorsport lifestyle. It's going to probably help with the survival of motorsports in general. You got to be inclusive of all backgrounds, and diversity has to improve for motorsports to really succeed in further years. Simply because, now you're starting to see way people of different ethnic backgrounds and people of different backgrounds altogether actually watch this shit. You know what I'm saying? Now in these times, there's a lot of things that people can't do no more, so they gotta fill it up with entertainment, streaming. So a lot of the people that end up watching this stuff and end up seeing this stuff are usually people from a different perspective. From what am I trying to say? See, I'm at a loss right now. I got a different train of thought. What am I trying to say? People from different backgrounds all come together to watch motorsports. Not just drag racing. Not just drag racing. Okay, all forms of motorsports. So it's important that motorsports as a whole is now inclusive to all those different backgrounds and all those different diversifying traits. I compare that with my own story. Like I said, for not even just for the racing as a kid, just for the stuff that I seen when I was hitting up racetracks as a kid, is drag racing children racing. You know what I'm saying? Children drag racing on motorcycles in the top fuel style cars, like that shit was incredible to me. I never thought that would even happen. I never seen that shit. Obviously, none of them were like me, so there's that. But none of them. When I say like me, I mean like none of them were, in essence, African American. Okay, but that's not besides the point. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. But like shit like that is also inclusive, including the youth in the racing. Speak properly, bro. The youth in the racing and stuff like that. All that stuff was inclusive of that. Now, of course, with my own shit, I've been interested in watching all forms of motorsports when I was like 16. That's when I truly fell in love with MotoGP, Formula One. I fell in love with that shit when I was 16. Mainly rally of course, that's what I truly really enjoy watching, because rally is by far, I don't care about no Formula One, okay, or Formula E or any other form of road racing. That rally shit, rally is really where you see the best of the best really perform. I don't care about Formula One or Formula E and nothing like that. Rally is really when you see people actually showcase real skill, because not only are you paying attention to the co-drive, you got to pay attention to the road, or in this sense off-road. You know what I'm saying? So it's to me not only the most difficult but the best racing environment ever. It's just you versus you and your team, rally, your co-driver, whatever, versus the road. Okay, it's not only pressuring for the driver, but it's pressuring for the rally driver as well, for the co-driver as well. You know what I'm saying? You got to get them instructions right. If you don't, bad things can happen. But that's all I really have to say for the show. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to be inclusive of everyone. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get plenty of people in the door. My goal with the motorsports industry is honestly just trying to be a part of the media. Yes, I curse a lot. I say shit. I say damn. I say fuck. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I probably have to clean up on that, and or I mean, I don't know. I might be able to continue everything on my own platform, whatever the case. I'm trying to use this to get my foot in the door. So I don't know if I guess that's a part of me. That's a part of my charm. That's a part of my personality. So whatever the case, however that system ends up rolling out, I do still plan on putting out way more stuff and actually acquiring way more content. Going out to these events and stuff when I actually have a schedule built around it. Getting some extra footage, doing a whole lot of the history stuff going on behind certain tracks, behind certain drivers, races, riders, whatever. I plan on doing that as well. So definitely, if you're here, subscribe, man. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's going to be plenty of content coming down the line. I plan on doing this for a long period of time and letting it grow, and hopefully doing everything that's necessary to actually use this platform to get my foot in the door, and hopefully some more foots in the door as well in the motorsports industry. Just trying to teach people like me different things that's going on. That's really it for the show, man. That's really all that I have to say. Yeah, pretty much. If you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe. If you didn't, why didn't you? Put it down in the comment section down below. If you're listening to the audio version, head on over to the YouTube version. Look at my face. Talk to me. Talk dirty to me. Or however that song go. Anyway, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at TheBigTicket07. You'll find updates on the motorsports world as well as updates on the show altogether. So holla at me there. And if you want to have any form of conversation or provide any form of insight, if you just some regular person that want to come on the show, whatever, feel free, step up, come through, whatever you got to do, or however the fuck go. I don't know. Just hit me up on Twitter at TheBigTicket07, man. That's where I be at the most times. Also, if you enjoy it, share with your peoples. Put my name out there. Hopefully I could probably succeed. But you got to keep trying. Even if you fail, got to keep trying, got to keep taking them risks. So I guess I have to take the marketing risk of Instagram cuz right now I've only been using Twitter. Anyway, man, that's it for the show. Have a wonderful day, wonderful week, wonderful weekend. Peace. Don't really know what to do with my hands. There you go. Boom.